What's good, y'all? It's me, Chris. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing this clown. But before we get into that, if you like, you can go ahead and follow me on my other social media platforms. Here is my Twitter where I stay talking shit. And here's my Instagram where you're going to be getting mounds of melanin. You are welcome. And while y'all here, you can check out some of my other recent videos that I posted a few days ago. I posted a video discussing the fetishization of fat men. Prior to that, I made a video discussing the first Cheetah Girls movie. And before that, I made a video discussing why is it so hard to believe gay people. So y'all go ahead and check that out. But for today's video, we're going to be discussing the creme de la creme of the weakest black men, Tory Lanez. So as y'all know, especially if you're clicking on this video, Megan Thee Stallion was shot 2 months ago in LA by Tory Lanez, and in that time, Megan has had several instances in which she's discussed the shooting and discussed her feelings and just cleared up any confusions, answered any questions that people have been having about said situation. Now, on the other hand, Tory Lanez has been extremely silent. He's only had 2 times where we have heard peeps from him. That was a time where he wanted to address his streaming sale, his Spotify streams in an IG comment, and we also have these alleged text messages in which he apologizes to Megan Thee Stallion for shooting her. It's really weird that he has been really quiet because prior to the shooting, he was very prominent on social media, had his quarantine radio that was doing really well, as well as he was speaking out again in favor for the ATO protests and rioting. So it's really weird that he would stay so quiet during this time. One could assume that he was trying to calculate a statement, get an interview together, get his thoughts together. Who knows? Who knows exactly why he was quiet? It could have been from all the heat that he was receiving from social media and many others of like, why the fuck are you shooting Megan Thee Stallion? So on Friday, he posted on his Twitter, "To my fans, I'm sorry for the silence, but respectively, I got time today, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time." Now, one could have assumed, at least I did, that of course he was going to be addressing the shooting, but maybe by way of Instagram or an interview that already had been pre-filmed, something, right, to finally address the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. But no, this nigga instead comes out with a 17-song, 1 hour and 6-minute album addressing the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
First of all, it's a hard pass on these HBO miniseries length albums. Like, unless it's Beyonce, y'all really could give us a cute Lisa Simpson experience in about 45 minutes, okay? I just find it so interesting that this is what Tory Lanez has been working in the past 2 months. Like, this is what he's decided how he's going to be speaking out on his experiences and on his side of the story. Like, what side of the story do you have to explain that would make any logical sense as to why you shot Megan Thee Stallion? What logical sense does anyone have in which people are getting shot at? Unless your life was being threatened and in danger, there is no logical reason why you would shoot someone. And Megan Thee Stallion has come out already and said that she did not do nothing, that she was not in the wrong, and that she was walking away from a situation, and the nigga shot at her. The man straight up shot at her. So I'm just kind of confused on what like side that he has to listen to. Like, he wants us to hear like we're in this situation as like he being the victim. It's just frustrating because black men all the time cannot take criticism. They take criticism of their ideas and behavior as hatred. They constantly play the victim. A lot of people, but especially black men, like to hide their bigotry and their ignorance behind it just being an opinion or these are my feelings. And to that, it really reduces the legitimate concerns in which black women, black LGBT people, black disabled people have about the power that cis hetero black men have. Every single time people of the black community discuss the behavior that cis hetero black men participate in, it's always y'all are trying to tear down a black man. Y'all are preventing a black man from succeeding. And to that, I just have an infinitive eye roll. But one, I will say, y'all have a very warped idea of what it means to succeed. Y'all essentially just want what white men have. That's exactly what y'all deem liberation for black men, is to gaining the exact power that y'all have, that white men have. That's why y'all get along with white women so much, is because y'all are like one step from having all the power and privilege of what is white supremacy. But this really reminds me of a quotation that I read in a Quincy Jones article discussing like the times of the 1940s and when they decided to what they viewed as liberating for black men. In this article, he writes, in this article is quoted, "I don't give a fuck because they think that's all you like. But that's stupid, man. Here's what you've got to understand. The interracial thing that was part of a revolution too, because back in the 40s and stuff, they would say, you can't mess with a white man's woman. Don't mess with his woman," he said. "We weren't going to take that shit. Charlie Parker, everybody there was married to a white woman. Even if these marriages didn't work out, Jones said he regrets nothing. Yeah, it was freedom, man. Do what you want to do. Nobody can tell you what to do," he said. "Charlie, I used to go to things with Charlie Parker. Man, boy, he'd have everybody smoke some weed. He'd have like the founders of Sears Roebuck, the ladies walking around the pool, all of them nude. Man, him playing alto, buck dancing around the pool, them cats didn't play." That's exactly what black men want. Black men don't want a place in which all black people can really thrive in which we're seen as all equals, in which we make sure that we reduce any harm and act on each other. No, they want this upper this upper echelons of living in this society full of lavish, shallow, vapid, materialistic thing. And hearing all of this, it really leads me to think that cis hetero black men aren't really informed on the politics of blackness and black liberation, because time and time and again they fail to realize that patriarchy prioritizes men. That's why, one, when it comes to the conversation of police brutality, black men are so visible because it prioritizes men's plight and it prioritizes men's experience. There's times in which people come to men's rescue, which we're going to get into later on about this video. It always gives men the benefit of the doubt. It never questions men's actions, and that's exactly what women are saying, what non-binary people, what queer people are saying, what disabled people, what fat black people are saying across the community. Is like, hey, you have this power and privilege regardless of white supremacy that you enact on other people in the black community. Black men, cis hetero black men, are just going to have to recognize that criticisms are not always about white supremacy, because quite frankly, I'm aware of what whiteness is doing to us, but that is not my barometer in which I decide to critique people of my community. I'm looking at systems of oppression and focusing on ways that we can unlearn behavior and not prevent people from being seen as humans within our humanity. I don't care what whiteness is doing. So I'll ask again, what side of the story could Tory Lanez possibly be explaining that Megan Thee Stallion hasn't made it crystal clear in the past 2 months? Aside from him whining about the criticisms that he has faced because of the violence that he inflicted on Megan Thee Stallion. Like, what would Megan gain on lying on this man? At the time of the shooting, Megan had a #1 single with Beyonce, one of the greatest artists of all time, one of probably the most recognizable name currently, Beyonce. What does she have to gain from Tory Lanez? I checked his discography. That man has only had 2 top 40s. In fact, a lot of times I get the two of the Bryson Tiller and Tory Lanez confused. Confused turns out that I've been listening to mostly Bryson Tiller music. So I don't even really know that nigga. Do y'all really know Tory Lanez like that for Megan to be gaining anything from lying on him? And you know what's so funny about this Tory Lanez shit? He has all the reason to believe that this will be okay, that this is appropriate, that this is exactly what is needed in this time. Because look at the record of black men in the entertainment industry that has inflicted harm and continue to excel, soar in this industry. You think about Dr. Dre beating up on Michel'le and other women. You think about R. Kelly, Chris Brown. Tory Lanez is just following the blueprint. That's all that man is. Just following the lineage of horrific black men in the entertainment industry. So of course he would do something like this. Some nigga shit. Of course he would do some nigga shit like this. And you know what? Fuck him. I'm not interested in listening to this album at all. I've heard clips about it online and it was just filled with gaslighting and misogyny. That's all it was. It was gaslighting and misogyny of black women who've experienced harm and violence, and Megan Thee Stallion especially. And I'm not interested in that. You know what I did when he released that album? I went over and streamed Fever. That is my favorite Megan Thee Stallion project. Cashapp specifically, that's my jam. Like, I really hope that Megan Thee Stallion is doing well in all of this. I hope that she's surrounded by a lot of people who can let her know that this nigga is crazy. And that I would love to see her do a diss track. I really would. But I don't think that that benefits her right now. Megan Thee Stallion is torn. She has another #1 hit with Cardi B, WAP. She's going to be on the musical guest for the season premiere of Saturday Night Live, and she was just on the cover of Times Magazine as being one of the most influential people of 2020. So, what does it do to get into like a battle with Tory Lanez? Because that's what it's giving. Like, nigga, you act like you entered some type of rap battle with Megan Thee Stallion. Is that what you really wanted from this situation? Is that you really wanted that kind of smoke? Like, that's what men do. Men always are out here trying to conquer what they can't because they're afraid of other men. Say that on the record. Men are afraid of other men, and that's why they attack black women. That's why they attack black queer people, because they know the type of power that men have and that men will participate in. They don't challenge them. They don't. But yeah, that's all the thoughts that I have on this Tory Lanez situation. Like, we don't need that nigga. He could bounce. I would love to hear what y'all think about it. Please give all the smoke to Tory Lanez in the comments. Like, blah, blah, blah. Light his ass up. It's what he deserves, okay? Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the Crispy Knowing family. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!